Hey guys, Neely here. I'm coming in today to show you how I make freezer sandwiches. I've showed this on a few of my freezer cooking videos, but I wanted to do a dedicated video just to freezer sandwiches because I get a lot of questions about it, and I just thought it would be helpful for you guys to have the info all in one place. So today I'm going to be making 3 different versions. The first one is the classic peanut butter and jelly, and I'm also going to make a ham with cream cheese and horseradish mustard. I've done this before with just the ham and cream cheese, but my husband requested the horseradish mustard, so I'm going to be adding that to the mix, which should be delicious. And then the third one that I'm doing is a pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork sandwich. This is leftover Kahlua pork that I made on my video the other day, and I had a bunch left, and so I mixed it up with some barbecue sauce. The first ones I'm going to be doing are the peanut butter and jelly, and it's pretty, self-explanatory. This bread I'm using is it's probably not available across the country because it is a local brand, Portland French Bakery, and this is a City Sour wheat sourdough bread. But just to give you an idea of the size of the pieces of bread, let's see, that's my hand next to the piece of bread, about the same size as my hand. Anyways, they're a little bit bigger, I would say, than like a Wonder Bread square loaf. So now I'm just gonna start putting these together. I'm gonna get 3 at a time here and just start spreading peanut butter. I have found that using a spoon, a big spoon, works better for the peanut butter and jam than a knife does, just because you don't have to go back in with a knife 2 or 3 different times to get a bunch of peanut butter. You can just do one big scoop of peanut butter with the spoon and then spread it around with the back of the spoon, and it just simplifies the process. And then the same thing with the jam on the other side. Just get a scoop, spread it around real fast, and that sandwich is done. And I'll just keep going on all 3 here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bag these 3 that I made. All I use are these simple fold and close sandwich bags. They're the absolute cheapest ones that you can get. They don't have a Ziploc. Ziploc ones would work great too. I just wanted to keep it as cheap as possible. So I just put the sandwich in and fold it over, and now this isn't sealed super tight, so you want to make sure that you don't just freeze it in these little bags. What I like to do is, after I get a whole bunch of these packed in these little bags, I will go ahead and put the sandwiches stacked back into the bag just like this, and I will just freeze a whole loaf of sandwiches, and I have found that that works just fine. It keeps them airtight enough that the sandwiches stay fresh, at least for a month. That's what I did last month. I did a whole bunch of sandwiches at the beginning of the month. I pulled out the last ones, just a few days ago at the end of last month, and they were still, just as good as when I first froze them. And now I'm just gonna keep going and put together all my sandwiches. What I like to do while I'm working on this project is to pull out my computer and turn on a TV show or some YouTube videos or a good podcast and just kind of zone out. It just becomes kind of mindless work. Now, through the magic of television, I have my 2 loaves all made into sandwiches, all individually wrapped and packed back into the bags. You can see, and they are all ready to throw into the freezer. I will link down below to a cheat sheet that I'm making on Google Docs that will have info on about how much peanut butter and jelly that you're gonna need per sandwich, just to give you a starting point. It obviously can vary quite a bit depending on how much peanut butter and how much jelly you like on your sandwiches, but it's just a starting point if you haven't done this before, so you can get a feel for it. So now I'm gonna do 1 loaf's worth of the ham, cream cheese, and horseradish mustard sandwiches. These ones, I have a couple of options after they're frozen. I can either just defrost them and throw in some sliced tomatoes and lettuce after they're defrosted, and then pack them into my husband's lunches, or I can grill them. I just put a little butter on each side and grill them on my Cuisinart griddler, and he really likes them either way, so it's nice to have a little bit of a variety there. So for these, I'm just gonna spread a light layer of cream cheese on both sides, and then I'm gonna add my ham, and I'm gonna squirt just a little squirt of the mustard kind of in between the ham slices. I don't want too much liquid touching the bread because I don't want it to get soggy. The cream cheese makes a nice barrier, so it's not that big of a worry, but I just want to keep the mustard away from the bread as much as possible. And that's it. Now I'm just gonna put the tops back on and put them in the little bags. And here are all of my ham sandwiches all bundled up, ready to throw into the freezer. The last batch of sandwiches I'm going to make is pulled pork with barbecue sauce. You could do this easily with shredded chicken. I found the ratio that worked pretty well was 1 bottle of barbecue sauce, which was 16 ounces, to about 10 cups of the meat, and that's gonna make about 20 sandwiches. I'm figuring about ½ a cup of filling per sandwich. I didn't want the filling to be really wet, so I kind of left it dry so there's no puddle of sauce at the bottom. I don't want the sandwiches to get soggy. The other thing that I want to mention about doing any kind of sandwiches that have a wetter filling like this is you want to have some kind of a barrier. So what I'm going to do is spread each side of the bread with a little bit of butter, not a lot. I don't want it to be butter flavored. I just want to give a little bit of moisture barrier so that the bread doesn't get soggy. So I'm just going to spread this like that real quick, and then I'll just put a scoop on each sandwich and spread it out a little bit. And then I am just gonna put the tops on here and put them in the bags. And I did want to mention that these ones I probably will grill every time I serve these ones. All right, they are all done. All in all, it took me just over an hour to assemble all of these, so I would say that's pretty good. I made about a little over 40 sandwiches, I think. So that will save me a lot of time in this coming month. This will easily be enough sandwiches for my husband for his lunches. Be super easy for me to pull them out of the freezer and pack them for his lunch. With the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I go ahead and just pull them out of the freezer and put them on the counter, and they defrost very easily. If I pull them out in the morning, they are defrosted by lunch. I can even, if I didn't pull them out soon enough, I can throw them in his lunchbox. And by the time he pulls them out to eat, they will be defrosted. With the meat sandwiches, of course, I don't leave them out on the counter for extended periods of time. I try to just remember to pull them out the day before or a couple days before. I just try to have a few in the fridge at all times, and as soon as I use the last of the ones in the fridge, I pull a few more out of the freezer, throw them in the fridge, and they're ready to go. I also wanted to mention to make sure to label your bags if you do multiple kinds of sandwiches. Last month I didn't think to do that, and once they're frozen they all look the same, so it was a little bit difficult to figure out which was the ham and which was the peanut butter. I first heard about doing the freezer peanut butter and jelly sandwiches from J. Morrell Stewart of The Encouraging Homeschool Mom. She has a blog. She has all kinds of stuff, but she's got a blog and a YouTube channel, but I will link down below to her peanut butter and jelly freezer video. Also, I found a great article from keepcalmgetorganized.com about freezer sandwiches. They did a great job of putting all the information together and making a list of things that freeze well and things that don't freeze well. So I will link that down below as well. It's just a great article if you are interested in freezer sandwiches at all. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for you. Again, look down below for all the links that I mentioned, as well as the cheat sheet for the amounts that you'll need for these different sandwiches. I hope you guys are all doing great, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye guys.